Hello, my name's Hans, and today at Rimmer Brothers we're going to be removing the brake master cylinder, inspecting it, and if necessary replacing it with a new one. Before we start, we're going to make sure that we have everything to hand. I've got the 7/16 spanner to undo this union and a 1/2 inch for that one. These nuts on here are 9/16 and I shall be using a extension bar and a small socket. As you can see, I put on an old towel, clipped it onto the wing, so we're going to make sure all the paintwork and everything is protected. Got another towel that I'm going to slide underneath the master cylinder, so any leaks, spills we can safely catch, and it'll save cleaning up later. Brake fluid will actually attack paintwork, so it's very important that we look after it. Now we've done this, we're going to just make sure we can loosen off the top, and we're going to crack off these two unions and then undo those two nuts. When we come to undo these unions, they might have been on a long while and they may or may not come off easily, but first of all I'm going to try with an open-ended spanner. This one's 7/16. That one's actually come off quite nicely. If it won't budge, we need to try and get it off without damaging the brake pipe or the union, and for that I have another tool that wraps around, locks onto the nut and then undoes it. If not, you might have to cut the pipe off and replace it, but normally these come off quite easily. We're just going to crack that open and then we'll do the same on the rear one. This one's 1/2 inch. A bit tighter this one. That one comes off, so we just loosen them and nip them up again, saving you loss of fluid. Now we need to undo these nuts here. I'm using a 9/16 socket and a long extension bar. If I slide it down the back, we can do the one round the back. It's very difficult to get a spanner on this one, but very easy with this. Just have to put my hand down the back and catch the nut as it falls off. Should be a nut, spring washer and a flat washer. Now we need to undo these two, pull the cylinder outwards and catch it in a tray. I've prepared myself with some more paper towel. Going to place that under there, and I've got a container to place the master cylinder in once I've actually removed it. I don't want to lift it up and carry it outside over the wing, so as soon as I lift it off I'm going to drop it into this and that'll catch any fluid that's about to leak out. So keep that to one side. Right, we need to undo these unions. You will get some fluid leakage out. Put my fingers over the holes and slowly pull the cylinder out. Now we've got it safely in here, we can lift it away from the vehicle. As you can see, all the fluid has actually been caught on this bit of paper towel. If I carefully remove it, this is all nice and dry. We'll put some more paper towel to catch any more drips. Well, we took the master cylinder off and we found no damage anywhere or signs of leakage, but we stripped it down and replaced the seals. Good job we did, because two of them had really gone really soft and were absolutely perished. So it's all been cleaned up, resealed, the bores have been checked, found to be fine, and we're now going to refit it. We're going to fit this one back on now. This is the original master cylinder the car came with, and we know it's in absolutely perfect condition now we've resealed it. So before we actually bolt it to the servo, I'm going to lift in position and carefully insert the brake pipes. Screw them in by hand. We'll do this before putting those bolts on, and then it makes life a lot easier. No chance of cross-threading the threads. So they're in finger tight. We can now push it into position, and it's a large flat washer, spring washer, and then the nut. This one's nice and easy to get to, not like the other one. Now we put the nuts on finger tight, we can put our socket and tighten them up. Don't forget to tighten these two up. Well, that's the cylinder fitted back. We just need to refill it full of fluid and bleed the system. So we're just going to fill up the reservoir with some brake fluid. We're using the silicone stuff here. Being very careful not to overfill anything. Right, we need to go around the bleed nipples and see what comes out at the on end. Just loosen these off to see if we can get any air out, and as you can see, it's bubbling away quite happily. When the bubbles have stopped, we'll tighten it up and try and bleed it through with the brake pedal. As you can see, we've raised the rear of the vehicle and we've attached a bleed hose and a spanner onto the bleed nipple. We now just need to open it up a little bit and have someone press the brake pedal down. We've bled the brakes, starting furthest away from the master cylinder, and worked our way round to the one that's nearest. Finally, we just need to make sure that we've topped it up, and I reckon that's just about perfect. We've checked for a brake pedal, and that's lovely and firm, no sponginess or soft play there. So all in all, job done and ready to go.